and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be sharing with you a production that was done some time ago. As a matter of fact, it's been a few years that this production was put together. And basically it's talking about a very, very deep, important subject, okay? The subject is really gut-wrenching, and you will see from what we've put together that it is one of those things that if we don't get things under control right now, that we will be destroyed as a people. And as you listen to this, it is for you to gain an understanding about what is actually taking place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and roll the video, and you will get an earful of information that's going to bring you back to a point where you will either say, look, we have some decisions and choices to make, or it's just a done deal. What side of this you land on will determine the future of our people. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and roll this video, and I will be right back.
Black women ain't shit. That's what we're talking about today. Sisters ain't shit.
And now you find there's more black men that's against black women that would come straight out and say they hate you.
Between your eyes. It means just shut up and listen. Right. It says don't make boldness between your eyes. Now that I give you the answer, you're going to jump to something else. You are a rebellious sister. That's it. Now you talk about the 10 Commandments. Go back to the 10 Commandments. You slut! You are a slut! You are a slut!
1 Kings chapter 14 verse 22. And Judah did evil in the sight of Yahuwah, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins which they had committed above all that their fathers had done.
When we hear of black women being negative or have an attitude, and you got so many black men that choose to date outside their race, be it European or Asian or what have you. It appears that black women are the only ones that seem to be left out of the equation.
All of these women that are basically driving men away because they want to wiggle their necks and say that they're strong and independent, but they don't know how to keep a man in their lives.
I'm gonna be black. That was so nasty. Okay, so I'm walking through the courtyard, right? Guess what I find on the floor? Yes. I find that weave on the floor. That fake hair.
I feel kind of bad for them though. They can't brush their hair or.
They gotta pat that weave, girl. They can't itch it. They can't itch it. They gotta pat that weave. I'm in my first hour, right? I'm in my first hour.
They can't do that. They can't.
These white girls and Chinese and whatever they are have just shown how ugly a black woman is without product in her head. My goodness, this bitch turned into a whole nother whore. Don't ever send me nothing like this again to frighten me. Ooh.
Brothers are now being negative against black women. But it just didn't stop with us because no one else seemed to want you.
I'm the man of this house. I can do whatever the hell I want to. Y'all black women need to learn how to just shut the hell up. That's why don't nobody want y'all. That's why we looking elsewhere for women who know their place.
I just wanted to know where you were going.
You don't need to know where the hell I'm going.
That's what happened to our woman. Our woman has become a damn whore.
Where there is a whore, there is a whoremonger.
Now don't get me wrong, if you really like a girl, then go for it. But I have noticed and heard from black males that they go after white women solely because of their color.
when we scheduled our date on Friday. And then she sent me a picture, and then yeah, that's when it happened. That's when the terrible feeling happened. She is black, African American, and the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling. Like, as soon as I got the picture, I was like, "Are you serious? Are you freaking serious?"
Any sister that's looking at my video right now, who is collecting assistance from the government, you ain't shit.
And it goes to my other video where I was talking about why white women are better than black women. Part 1. And part 2 will give another analysis of why these brothers are going to white women.
The truth about you, and that's why you end up like whores. That's why you end up with no man. That's why you end up 40 years old in the church with no goddamn man and a house full of damn children, because you don't learn the golden rule of being a black woman. You black women want to know the golden rule of being a black woman? Shut your goddamn mouth. That's the golden rule of being a black woman.
Listen good. Woman, you've been running your mouth for too long. Any man that follows you is a fool.
If you're one of these sisters who know you don't fall in these categories, shut the fuck up, because nobody don't need to hear your mouth. Now, let's get a couple of things straight. A lot of so-called black women are whores.
Where there is a whore, there is a whoremonger.
But anyway, I've also heard many black dudes say they find black women unattractive.
You know, I'll have black men approach me and say, "Oh, I don't talk to black women because of this and because of that." I don't think you should discount a whole race for stupid things. I mean, I hear things like because they wear weave or because they have an attitude or just different things, and I just think that's dumb. I don't think you should discount a whole race because of that.
Just go tie her damn weave. And this girl's like, tie your weave, girl, tie your weave. And then Hector's like, why? Hector's like, why can't you just itch it? I'm like, because it doesn't move.
You old, decrepit, loudmouth. My mammy is just like your mammy is. Come on, Proverbs 9 and 13, you loudmouth witch.
I don't like them. They're annoying.
No,
they stink.
Some are nice.
They're ugly.
They're pretty.
No.
Look at Tara Banks.
She's not black.
She is. Go ahead.
Okay, because of this, I have developed an extreme disgust with seeing all these black dudes with white women.
Let me say something. Another problem with black people, allow black women. That's right. Black women and destroying the black men. Turn our young men into mama's boys, man. With these loudmouth, big 10-gallon head black women, man. These black women are shameful, man. What? Don't know nothing about God. Don't know nothing about the Bible. Read.
But they knew damn well the black woman did not have hair pieces, which most black women don't. They have some shit sewed into their nappy hair underneath.
And they be knowing they've been a disgusting whore. They be knowing they've been that.
Most black women ain't shit.
And that's why mostly black men are leaving you. Mostly black men are leaving you, and they're getting with these white women who have big butts and who emulate the same physique of a black woman. They're leaving you because of that. It's, hey, I might as well be with a Betty who got a big butt, who look just like a black woman.
are black women the cause, the main contributing factor to destroying the fabric of our black families?
Instead of telling me to watch what I'm saying, why don't you cover up your funky behind, man?
So please understand, black women, when I point out how ugly you are, it's because you've made yourself naturally ugly.
Why don't you do that, man? Instead of getting in my goddamn face. You black women, there's a new breed of black man coming. And he's tired of listening to your mouth, man.
White women are raised differently. Asian women are raised differently. Everybody's raised differently, okay? They're not raised to be destroyers. They're not raised to be hood rats. That's why white women are better than you, because of that reason.
So for all of you whores who say white women wear weaves and extensions just like we do, no, they do not.
How the children born of these big-mouth black women will join gangs. They're your robbers. They're your thieves. They're your rapists.
White man has brainwashed the so-called Negro to the point of believing in white supremacy so much that today some Negroes think that they're not making progress or they don't have anything unless they're living in a white neighborhood, unless they have the white man's neighborhood, a seat in the white man's school, or a position on the white man's job, and they even have taken it so far they don't think they're successful in life unless they have a white woman as a wife.
White women are better than black women. That's the true fact. And what are you going to do, black women? Are you going to sit there and try to tear me down? Are you going to try to be a woman?
Let's just chalk this up to white people yet again making black women, and especially the dark-skinned ones, look stupid on national TV.
We should tell a black woman, you know what? Maybe I'll shut my mouth and I'll keep my man. Maybe my son will grow up to be a decent human being. But not you old loudmouth disgusting bitches, man. Not you.
Society has allowed every black woman to be labeled with one big paintbrush with nothing in between. There are literally thousands of videos talking about how ugly the black woman is, how evil she is, how useless she is. You see, you had this big bishop tell you, "Woman, thou art loosed." So you thought you were free, only to find out that you're still bound.
Once, two youngins goes down the hill to the dollhouse where Master Kilpatrick's children are playing. They want to go in the dollhouse, and one of the Kilpatrick boys says, "That's for white children." They say, "We ain't no niggas, because we got the same daddy you has, and he comes to see us near every day and fetches us clothes and things from town." They is fussing, and Missy Kilpatrick is listening out of her chamber window. She heard them white niggas say, "He is our daddy, and we call him daddy when he comes to our house to see our mama."
Many owners and overseers believed that sexual access to slave women was one of their prerogatives. The rape of black women also served to humiliate their husbands and undermine the integrity of slave families.
Lord, child, that was common. Masters and overseers used to make slaves that was with their husbands get up and do as they say. Send husbands out on the farm, milking cows or cutting wood. Then he gets in bed with the slave himself. Some women would fight and tussle, others would be humble, feared of that beating. If they told their husband, he was powerless.
I was one slave that the poor white man had his match. These here old white men said, what I can't do by fair means, I'll do by foul. One tried to throw me, but he couldn't. We tussled and knocked over chairs, and when I got a grip, I snatched his face all to pieces, and there was no more bothering Fanny from him. But oh, honey, some slaves would be so beat up when they resisted. And sometimes, if you rebel, the overseer'd kill you. Us colored women had to go through plenty, I tell you.
My mother's mistress had 3 boys. 121, 119, and 117. Old mistress had gone away one day, and mother always worked in the house. While she was alone, the boys came in and threw her down on the floor and tied her down so she couldn't struggle. And one after the other used her as long as they wanted for the whole afternoon. Mother was sick when her mistress came home, and when old mistress wanted to know what was the matter with her, she told her what the boys had done. And she whipped them. And that's the way I came to be here.
Woman, Thou Art Bound. A riveting, powerful book that will have you on the edge of your seat as the truth and reality of the so-called black woman is brought to light. You will be forced to explore the problems that will lead to the only solution as you turn every page. This powerful book will be turned into a film by the makers of the Whited Out series. We will expose the dark side of the breakdown of the relationship between black men and black women as we uncover the diabolical plan to destroy black love. Join the conversation and be part of the solution. Let's find out how we got here, how to fix this, or whether we should just throw in the towel. Can black love be revived? Let's find out. Order your copy today at lulu.com, womanthouartbound.com, afrowars.com, amazon.com, or wherever fine books are sold.
Okay, if you just listen to that video and you are not deeply disturbed, then that is a problem. Listening to that video should really make us wonder what the heck is going on, because no one in their right mind thinks that that's normal by any means. Because the so-called black woman, I want you to look at the tears in this woman's eyes. Okay, look at the tears in her eyes. To sit back and think that the black woman, period, is all of what was in that video. What was said by those men, what was said by those white women, what was said by those white men, and all these other people. To think that those are fair assessments of the black woman around the world, the mother of all civilization, that is ludicrous. Because we all know that women of the world, period, are off the chain, out of order. We all know that men around the world of every nation are off the chain, out of order. So to sit back and try to draw up a narrative that black women are the single most horrible group of people on the planet, and to have everyone draw all of these conclusions like this without first looking in the mirror. This was put together, it was put together out of frustration many years ago, because over the years I've talked to a number of women who have been going through some horrible things. I've talked about it so much to where I can't say that I'm tired of talking about it, because a lot of women need to heal. But that healing can only take place, let me tell you how. It's not the way that you think, okay? Because reaching out to other people that hurt you, trying to get them to heal the hurt that they've inflicted, that's ridiculous, okay? Let me tell you why. When you look at racism, for instance, us trying to convince these other races of people that what they have done to us and what they continue to do to us is hurting us both physically and spiritually. Trying to convince them of that is a waste of time. So I'm going to say the same thing to the black woman, that it is a waste of time to try to convince our men, and other people, other races and other groups of people, white women, Asian women, Arab women, white men, Arab men, and black men, trying to convince these people that the way they are treating black women is wrong, that it's awful, that it's horrendous. Trying to convince them of that is pointless. You know why? Because each and every person that has mistreated a black woman did so with great intention. So most of the time, people are not sorry for something they intended to do. Okay, of course, you will get those who will come back and apologize and say, oh, forgive me, but then they will continue the same cycle. Think about women who are in abusive relationships where a man is constantly being abusive to them, constantly doing things and hurting them, whether it's physically or verbally, but they continue on in that relationship. But trying to convince people of what they're doing to you is just a waste of time. So where do we start? We have to start within. We have to start by fixing what it is in us that allows ourselves to be in these traps and snares with other people. We also have to determine what spiritual connections we have that we shouldn't have. Because sometimes you align yourself with things on a spiritual level that you should not align yourself with. And you have no idea how your life is affected by it. So breaking spiritual soul ties is a very important step to healing yourself, right? And of course, my main number one thing that I always tell everyone who are saying, well, what is your solution? They're always asking, well, what's your solution? I'm going to say the same thing every time. The number one solution is repentance. And repentance is not merely saying or stating that you are sorry verbally. Repentance is a change that takes place in your life. And that change can start very small, but gradually increase. And I want to encourage you, sisters. I don't care how small the change is. It can be what you drink. Change what you drink. Change what you eat, how you dress, who you talk with, who you associate with, who you hang around, where you go, what you watch, what you listen to, what you read, what you do, where you work. Start with those things. When you start to make changes in areas of your life that you know have some type of ill effect on you. That's why I mentioned food and drink and what you're watching and what you're listening to, music, all of that. Who your friends are. You might have to cut some people off. I'm sorry. Even family members. There are family members that you have to cut off. Okay? Period, point blank. This is the way that you have to heal yourself. A part of my series, I am going to talk about something that I mentioned to you some time ago, and that was the period of my life where I had severe low self-esteem. And I'm going to tell you in detail how I was able to come up out of that. Okay. For me, I count it as a miracle because I know how it felt to be in that very low place. I know how it felt. So I want to make a very detailed video on that. And I want to talk to you about some very deep things that affected me and how my low self-esteem even affected my relationship with other people. I want to talk about that, okay? Because I think that was a very important step to my healing process. But anyway, this video that I just showed you was so very deeply disturbing. And I know for some of you, it was probably very disheartening to hear. And it probably even vexed your spirit, okay? But get this. Some of you are engaged in relationships already to where you are experiencing this type of rhetoric on a daily basis and you just feel trapped. Okay, you feel trapped. You don't know what to do, where to go, how to get out of the situation. And so I played this video, though it was very difficult. It was very difficult for me to make, very difficult for me to even deal with, okay, and to even listen to all of the rhetoric. But I had to do it. Sometimes in order to heal, you have to revisit some very painful moments, you know, whether it's through conversation about it or hearing things. But I'm hoping that, you know, I can say some things to Get some people to change their minds and their hearts. Even some of our brothers who have joined in on this type of treatment of our sisters. Okay. Those who want to stay blind, there's nothing you can do about that. Just sit back and wait for the judgment of the Most High to come pounding down, because it will. Okay. They can't continue in this way. That's a rebellious nature. Now, many of them will say sisters are rebellious because they don't want to deal with a man in their pernicious ways, right? So they will say that you are rebellious. But get this, the Most High is a fair judge. He sees all of this mess. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows what kind of games are being played. He knows what these men are all about. He knows what the women are all about. He knows what this world is all about. So nobody gets away with anything. So you can have people all day long sitting back saying what the Most High is going to do to this one or that one, because I'm starting to hear a lot of brothers saying that the Most High is going to start killing these women. He's going to start doing this and doing that. Really, what they're saying is this is what they hope to happen, because their anger has boiled up to a point where they would like to do it themselves. As a matter of fact, over the years, I've heard, I can't call them brothers, I've heard men say that. That's why we did Tarnished Awakening, because some of these men have some awful things to say about their own women. And it's unfortunate, but I don't see this type of friction between any other racial group on the planet. Black men, black women, what the heck is wrong with us? We pride ourselves on being the first on the planet, being the mothers and the fathers of civilization, although the seed line was infiltrated. So the black man seed line was infiltrated, okay, and interrupted, should I say, and introduced into the black woman's body. That's a whole other subject. This infiltrated seed was introduced into the black woman's body, and so that kind of, brought a separation of the people that you see walking around on the planet today. But anyway, that is a really deep subject, and I love talking about it with those who understand it, right? But for us to claim to be the people that were here first, we have set such an awful example. And let me tell you what I mean by that. We can talk all day long about how people have come in and tried to do things to divide us and conquer us. But it still comes back to why and how did we let it? Okay? Of course, people can divide and conquer. They can do all kinds of things. But when there's a statement like, only the strong survive, that's basically telling you that if you resist this division, then it can't happen. Resist means to fight that division. Don't allow it to happen. But when you have black men and black women sitting back making excuses why I choose a white woman or why I choose a white man, because you ain't this, you ain't that. So you're going to choose those who are part of the division or the infiltration. That sounds so backwards, to think that the solution is the one who caused the problem in the first place. And when I say cause the problem, I'm talking about from a human standpoint, because I know that there is a spiritual battle going on as well, the spirit versus the flesh. I know that there are principalities and powers that are controlling the narratives and the minds of people. I know all of this, right? And I also know that the Most High, who sits high and looks low, allows all of these things. But this is because he has already set a decree. If you don't fight, then your enemy can infiltrate. That decree was set that if you resist, then your enemy will flee. If you don't resist, your enemy's going nowhere. But if you sit back and you just fold into the situation and allow yourself to be used and handled by the infiltrators, and you sit back and make excuses why they are better. We heard some of our brothers in the video actually say that white women are better. And don't that sound, it just sounds so foolish. You will never hear white men say that about any other race of people. And when I say that, you might hear one person say this or a couple here and there, but as a rule, you will not hear a whole bunch of white men attacking their women like this. As a rule, you will not hear a bunch of Asian men attacking their women. And Arab men, Latino, none of that. But black men, what is your problem? Black women, what is your problem? But yet we pride ourselves on being the first. How dare you try to prop up being the first when you can't even deal with or resist the infiltrators. As a matter of fact, you think the infiltrators are better because you are weak and simple-minded. This is why the Most High said, my people are sottish. If you don't know what sottish means, look it up. Sottish. Look it up. He says his people are sottish. To do that which is good, they don't know how to do that. But to do that which is evil, they know how to do that very well. So this is why you will have excuses. Instead of us trying to figure out how to fix us, what we have successfully done is figured out how to make bold face excuses about how to destroy us. Of course, you don't call it destruction. You'll just say, look, I'm going to do what I want to do. But in the end, there's a price to pay. And you don't realize that that price is going to be our very existence if the Most High doesn't intervene. But some of you don't see how serious this all is. You think it's all a game because you are so fleshly minded. The carnal mind has taken over. There's no spirituality or wisdom in you. You are a foolish man and a foolish woman, a foolish group of people to think that if you continue in this path, that at the end of it is not going to be destruction. To think that there's not destruction at the end of this path that we have laid out before ourselves, how we've allowed ourselves to be so easily manipulated and controlled by infiltrators who actually sprang forth from us. That's why I don't like to hear black pride talk. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people who are a part of the Black Pride movement, many of them got the nerve to have somebody white on their shoulders. I'll be saying to myself, y'all some sick people. You talking about Black Pride. I remember years ago, there was a group that I was a part of on Facebook. I don't know if the group still exists, but the group was headed by a black man talking about saving his people. But he himself was married to a white woman. And they had a big family picture one time, and he was the only black thing in the picture because his children with his wife, they all looked majority white. Okay. His grandchildren, you could tell they were mixed, but they were very light. And then his grandchildren, they just looked straight white because his mixed children married white people. So this one black man single-handedly whited himself completely out because even his grandchildren went and married white. And so that there is no evidence of this man in that picture other than him standing there, everybody else around him, grandchildren, children, whited out. We see that happening a lot among celebrities and sports figures. Everybody who finds any type of fame or fortune, these so-called black people, they find themselves someone white or Asian or anything other than black to go and marry, and so that their money bounces right out of the black community into the white community. And they're proud to do it. They're happy to do it. And they don't think that there are consequences to that. They are actually setting the stage and creating the lust and the desire that a lot of people who don't have all of that money actually, gravitate towards. It's a whole conversation that can be had about this, but most of our people are stubborn and foolish. They don't have any sense of culture or pride. They have more of a sense of individuality and not the survival of their people. Every other group of people on the planet is interested in the survival of their people, and they will do it by any means necessary. We are the only people who feel the need to degrade our own just to justify our fetish. I will put it like this for some of these other races. If they step outside of their race, it's not because they are trying to, because you have to understand everybody came from us, period. Everyone came from us, but all of these other groups were established through our seed line, right? The human seed line. But these other groups, in order to survive, sometimes they know that they have to, do a little mixing with us to improve their gene. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all do. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Because back in the day, and see, this is a whole other video. I'm getting off into something else, but I'm just going to say this much. Back in the day, there were no full-lipped white folk. Okay, there were no white women with full behinds naturally. Most of them were very flat, but they knew exactly what to do to get some of those genes in there. And I don't think it's a conscious thing for all of them, but it's something that they knew they needed to do. You see how they try to mix genes with certain plants and animals to produce a better species of animal. That's what they call it, a better species. Something very similar has happened with humans as well. This is why they don't look like they did 200 years ago, okay, with the flatness and the straight up and downness and all of this. They're starting to get some of the Beckys are starting to get some Brenda bumps, if you know what I mean. But again, that's a whole other video. I'm going to get off of this video. It's already too long. Of course, it really is. And I can go longer if I chose to. But I have other things that I need to talk about today. But I just wanted to get into this and help you to understand what's really happening with the black woman. I wrote this book, Woman, Thou Art Bound. In this book, it highlights a number of things that we as black women are going through at the hands of people all over the world, not just our men, but people, period. And it is so depressing, disturbing, and distressing that we ourselves have got to come up with our own solutions, because trying to get the solutions from the people who are hurting you is not going to work. And again, the number one solution is to repent and to figure out what it is we need to do to improve ourselves. And don't look anywhere else, okay? Don't look to anyone else for this improvement. Do what it is you have to do, okay? That's what we must do, Daughters of Zion. That is exactly what we must do. And we cannot internalize all of the abusive words that these men continue to speak. Okay, some of you say you don't hear these things. This is because you stay off of social media, which is wonderful. So I'm really talking to those who are affected by it, those who have personal experiences with it that have nothing to do with social media. You're living this. This video is for you to heal. Okay, and that healing starts with you getting yourself right first. Don't worry about what the men are doing. They're going to do what they're going to do. Our goal is not to get them to do anything, because like they say, they're the man, right? So you deal with you the man. But women, we are going to deal with getting ourselves together. That is what we must concentrate on. Okay. And if that means we have to throw up some prayers for our brothers, so be it. But sometimes you have to understand those prayers, they come at a price. Okay. They activate the Most High in a way that we don't always understand. Some of them are not going to come calmly and peaceably. Some of our brothers are actually going to have to be forced through some type of judgment or chastisement to do the right thing. So that's what prayers can do. It can make some come peaceably, if that is the path that the Most High chooses. But if they are too stubborn to do that, then the Most High will allow your prayers to cause them to enter into a period of chastisement or judgment because of their pernicious ways. Okay, well, again, I am done with this video. I really appreciate those of you who sat and listened to all of this. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, share and like this video, okay? This video needs to be heard, okay? With that, I am out.
Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.